Welcome, everybody, to an exciting new live event. This is we're talking about QA today, the QA track. And I know it should sound new to pretty much everyone out there because this is the newest thing that Topcoder has done this year, and it's going to be great. Joining me may be a familiar face. When you see my face, you may remember this guy's face. Please welcome Mr. Will Price. Will Price, say hello to everybody.
Thank you, Nick. And yeah, if you guys weren't sick of me from TCO, here I am. I'm here to talk some more, try to stay awake.
I like that you still have the TCO 17 hat. You're just like
repping the brand.
And I got my Swifttoberfest t-shirt on, so both repping the Topcoder brand very nicely. So thank you again for joining me. We've got a lot to talk about in a relative sense. Exciting stuff to talk about, at least, when we talk about the QA track. So let's kind of just get into it. So what is the QA track? How did you come to be a part of this whole thing? So I'll let you take it away from there.
All right, cool. Thanks, Nick. So QA on Topcoder I mean, to be completely frank, it's nothing new. Quality on Topcoder is something we've always worried about. We have peer review processes, we have bug hunts, we have bug bashes, we have all these different types of challenges that really focus on increasing the quality of the work that we do on Topcoder. Why we're talking about QA as if it's this new exciting thing is because we're putting a lot of time and effort into building out our offerings to our customers, which in turn means more for the community to work on. So that's kind of there's two pieces to it. You know, there's one, what do our customers want? What can we offer them? And the other piece is how can we find a way to structure it in a way that works where the community can participate and we provide opportunities for winning money, getting the TCO, all the other cool stuff that people want to be doing on Topcoder. So that's why there's a big push. We're going to see a lot more offerings coming out in the next couple of months, and we're going to see a lot more opportunities for the community to engage in different types of testing than we have in the past.
So you're saying that there's more. You're foreseeing more work in this space coming down the line, which is why we're building out this new track, at least you're saying.
Oh, yes. So that's like pretty much my everyday now is working with the Topcoder sales and marketing teams to really push this with our customers. We have a lot of great conversations going on. We're looking to become basically a tool in every company's tool belt where they can say, you know, I use Topcoder to help with my QA, and we have a regular cadence of QA work coming into the community. So it's sort of those things that we're at the beginning of the journey right now, but I expect a lot more to be coming over the next few months.
Okay, great. Before I go on with the questions, I just wanted to remind everyone that if you have any questions yourself, we have the YouTube live channel open. If you go there, there will be a chat box and where everyone can ask their own questions, comment on what you hear. And great time to do it because you have Will Price here to answer all your questions. So Will, you mentioned a lot of work coming down the line. Now, the community, I feel like, is familiar with challenges such as bug hunts, bug bashes. Are there going to be any new types of challenges like that, or is it just a lot of the same?
Well, I wouldn't call it a lot of the same. We're basically, as part of the QA offerings, we're trying to get the next generation version of the bug hunt. You might start seeing challenges come through that might be called unstructured testing or structured testing. We kind of have all these different flavors that we're trying to sell to our customers that we can run with the community. So an unstructured test challenge is very similar to a bug hunt that we've run historically. The tooling might be different. You know, we're running these through GitHub now, and we're using tools like Ragnar for members to opt into the challenge or into the repo themselves and log the issues there. Alongside that, we have co-pilots now focusing specifically on QA. So, you know, we've always had kind of co-pilots, they're a dev co-pilot or a design co-pilot or a data science co-pilot. We're starting to ramp up QA co-pilots who are just going to worry about these types of challenges. Our first one is SD Gun, so I want to give a big shout out to
Nice.
her, who's just doing awesome so far, running a lot of work for us. So you'll start to see her doing more. We also have Nitya's World jumping in and helping out on the review, and I'm hoping that as we expand, she'll be taking on that role as well.
So more work for the members, not only just the the bug fixing, bug hunting work, but you're talking about getting co-pilots and reviewers involved too, right? So like kind of opportunities there.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of opportunity for the community. I mean, the first one is obviously competing. So part of redefining how we do QA on Topcoder was an increase in the prizes. So our new standard bug hunt prizes have increased, which is very exciting for everyone. I think we should be giving the best prizes that we can, making this worth everyone's time competing.
Right.
And with that, we've seen a lot more people competing. In each individual challenge. I mean, we ran a bug hunt recently, but I'm gonna stop calling it that. That's the last time I'm gonna say it on this call. It's gonna be an unstructured from here on out. But we ran an unstructured test that had over 300 registered members on it. I mean, the engagement is definitely there from the community, and I'm excited to see that. And I hope that's partly due to the increase in prizes that we're focusing on, as well as the recently announced TCO trips that are coming. And that's just the beginning of that.
That's great. Now, can you talk more about that? Is it just a simple TCO trip that you win after a certain stage? Is it this stage that people can actually start winning trips, or
it's stages? We just started stage 3, correct?
Right.
Yep. So it's stages 3 and 4. We have one trip available during each stage. So this year it's just trips. So it's going to be two competitors who are competing in these competitions. We'll get flown out to TCO. We'll get to hang out. We'll get to talk about it. Maybe figure out ways we can improve how we do it with you guys. And I mean, I just want to note also, that's why I'm here right now.
Yeah.
I want to hear back from the community on ways we can improve this. I like to think that the TCO trips is a great starting point. My personal goal, and I can't commit to this, so please don't take it as gospel or anything coming from Topcoder. But my personal goal is I want an on-site QA competition at TCO 19. I want to see that. I want to have that many people, and I want to have enough challenges running in this space that we can actually qualify enough people to do an on-site competition for it. But for right now, we got to walk before we run. So we're doing 2 trips, one each stage. And you earn points on those by competing in any challenge that is tagged with QA on Topcoder. So you can go ahead and you can filter by technologies, go under that technology filter, look for QA. Anything with that tag will count towards a trip to TCO.
Great. And as you said, it's a new venture in a way. So you're always looking for like or suggestions maybe or comments, feedback on the track itself, correct?
Yeah. And right now, so I guess I started on, I'm all over the place. So just
no worries. Yeah.
So I talked a little bit about, we have these unstructured test cycles, which are very similar to the bug hunts that we've run in the past, maybe some different tooling, some different process, some new co-pilots running this stuff. But that's something that the community is pretty familiar with. We've also started doing what we call structured test cycles, where we're asking the community to either write test cases for an application or execute test cases for an application. And actually, the executing of test cases is really cool. If anyone here watching has ever seen a bug bash on Topcoder, where we run it through GitHub or GitLab, and we assign basically a prize to each individual bug that's fixed, we kind of ran test cases the same way, where we created a whole bunch of tickets. Each ticket was worth $30, and it was execute 10 test cases. And people could grab them, they could self-assign, and they could only do one set of 10 at a time. That led to us having 3 members, 3 unique different members run each test case for this customer, and we did it in less than a day. The engagement was so great. The community really jumped on this, and I was thrilled to see it. And hopefully that method of structuring it was fun for them as well. I think it was a really cool way to do it. Those are kind of like our kind of manual test offerings. We're currently also working on automated test offerings. Co-pilot Thomas Cranises has been launching some Selenium work that we're using as sort of a pilot for how we want to structure these challenges. So I'll be meeting, I'm working with him to try and figure out the best way to run these challenges going forward. And to be quite frank, like that's the biggest space that our customers are asking about right now is how do we automate our QA?
Right.
And that's how, that's what we're trying to figure out quick. So getting those skills with those tools is going to lead to a lot of opportunity on Topcoder to win some prizes, closer rather than later, like nearer rather than later, right?
Right.
Very near future.
Well, Thomas chimed in the chat and said hello, so he wanted to say hello.
Oh, hey, Thomas. Glad you're watching. Sorry I missed you this morning.
Whoop. Did you mess up his name?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't make have a nice chat.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't. I had a conflict, unfortunately.
Yeah. So okay. I think we got pretty much the base layer of what the QA track is, how it's new on Topcoder, how it's going to be working. As Will mentioned, it is a work in progress. Also, as well, he is looking for ways to improve it. So suggestions are welcomed. Comments about how the track is, performing is welcomed. We also launched a page describing all of this. If you go to our dashboard announcement, we have a link there if you want to go check out the page. And I believe, Jesse, if you're on the chat, we also have a blog post coming up that speaks all about this new QA track. Is there anything else you want to add, Will, to what you've said? We don't have any questions rolling in. Again, we are taking questions if you have anything to ask Will about QA.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I've talked about most of it, but I mean, I guess earlier you asked me, how did I get involved?
Yeah.
I guess I never really answered it. I kind of danced around it, but yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not a QA guy by nature. I'm a Topcoder guy by nature. I've been with Topcoder for a long time, running challenges for customers, doing all this TCO stuff. I'm all over the place, and I truly love working with Topcoder and work with this community. And I was approached and asked if I would be interested in trying to help structure this. And my first reaction was like, QA, I don't know, it's not my thing. But the more I thought about it, and the more I just kept saying to myself, like, this is an opportunity to build something with our customers, and more importantly, with the community. Like, it's a way to create new opportunities, and I think we're already seeing that with new opportunities that have never existed before for testers to get to TCO. And that's what I really wanted to do, is create something that engages a whole new group of people on Topcoder, or creates new opportunities for the people who are already here. And so I'm learning a bit about the testing stuff as I go, which is another reason that if you're a testing expert, hit me up on Topcoder Slack. If you want to talk about this stuff, if you have ideas for things that would be cool competitions, these are the things I need to know, and these are the things I need to learn. So I would love to hear back from you guys and take your suggestions and take those testing best practices and then combine them with Topcoder best practices and get something that just works wonderfully for everyone.
Love that. All right, we got a question from Clinton.
Oh, on the hot seat.
How does QA work within regards to identifying design flaws like UI, UX? Do we do that kind of work?
Clinton, next time just reach out to me directly. For everyone who doesn't know, Clinton works at Topcoder.
So yeah,
totally trying to put me on the spot. That's one of the offerings we're actually working on right now is UX testing. It's not formally structured yet. We have kind of a couple different ways we do it. Now, right now, in the unstructured test, we actually just launched one yesterday that's live on Topcoder right now. So go look for it if you want to participate. But we award points in that for UX suggestions. So generally, the way we're doing the prizes in a test cycle right now, an unstructured test cycle, is you are awarded points for each issue that you find based on the severity of the issue. And if you submit something that's even if you don't qualify for a prize and but you submit an issue that no one else found, you'll get a small payment just for finding that issue, assuming it's accepted. We don't do that small cash payment for UX suggestions, but we do award points towards placement. So that's one of the ways that we do it right now. Is you can earn points towards placing at all of our QA challenges right now. We're doing first, second, and third place. So there are a lot of placement opportunities.
Okay.
And those suggestions can happen there. Then the other thing that we're working on is kind of a formal UX testing offering. So I'm working with Adam Moorhead, AdRock, on putting that together. So we're trying to figure out the best way. And actually, one thing that we're working on is maybe the next week or two launching a challenge to the community to get ideas on how we could even structure that. So an ideation challenge where we say, hey, how would you guys want to see competitions run where we're taking UX testing and suggestions and these sorts of things? What's a fair way to evaluate that? Because I can sit here and I can tell you what I think is fair, but getting it from the competitors is way better.
Exactly.
Because you guys are living this every day. So that's something we have coming up as well. And then lastly, this isn't confirmed yet, but keep your eyes open on the newsletters, because I am discussing with one of our customers right now doing a kind of like a UX comparison. They have a couple of different designs for this application, and they want to get feedback, kind of say which one's the best one, which one provides the best user experience. When we do that, we'll probably shoot out a survey in the Topcoder newsletters and award cash prizes to people who are submitting. I'm really hoping that they sign off on this, but we're looking at probably $500 prizes to people who submit their feedback on this.
Oh wow, that's pretty relatively easy work for a $500 prize. So,
well, $100, okay. 5 different people.
5 different people. Okay,
yeah. Still, I mean, it's a good opportunity to take 15 minutes of your time, test out a couple different things, and just say, this doesn't require any expertise. That's the cool thing. Like, you don't need to be a design, master. You don't need to be like a Yoki who is so talented, right? And then knows all this stuff. You can be anyone to answer a survey, because you're looking at this as an end user. If I were on this website, which thing would look the best to me, and just check it off, and then you can win $100.
Yeah,
and you can't beat that if you ask me.
So there was a second parter to his question for Clinton for that UI UX question, and I think you did touch on it a little bit, but first off, he was wondering if we did that kind of work, which I think you explained, and then asked how the customer would review or accept identified issues for those type of challenges, or has that not come across yet, or?
Yeah, we're still working on putting it together, Quentin. So I know you're excited, and I am too. But we're still working on the best way to do it, because that's a very subjective process. What one person thinks is a extremely valuable suggestion, the next person might not think is an extremely valuable suggestion. So we want to make sure we have very clear rules for making sure that it's fair to the community members who participate in this, but also gets the customer the outcome that they want. So I don't have the answer right now. We're still kind of working through it. And that's just for anyone watching and interested in this QA stuff that we have going on. A lot of this is going to be learning as we go, and there'll probably be some bumps on the road, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm on Topcoder Slack. I want to hear about it. If something's not enjoyable for you to participate in, tell me. I need to know that so I can make it more enjoyable next time. And that's really what I want to do, is just make this great for the community.
Great. Yeah. We do have another question that came in from Samima. This is a pretty good question as well, kind of going off the how does it work, rules type of situation. And they ask, can a group of QA people participate as an agency on these type of challenges? What are the rules on that?
So the answer to that is no. Right now, we don't support any team submissions on Topcoder. So everything has to be done on an individual basis, and it is against the terms of service, I believe. Nick, you probably know them better, have them more committed than I do to memory. But yeah, all submissions are done individually and not as a team.
That is correct. Yes, and that if you want to read more about that, that's in our terms and conditions. So good answer for that. And we have kind of just a general one. What can a member do to start in these type of challenges? What's the best way
this applies to any Topcoder challenge. Just let me be super clear here. It's not just QA. Any Topcoder challenge. The best way to get started is to do it. Even if you don't expect to win, the best way to get to the point where you can win is to just start submitting, because that's when you learn what sorts of things are winning. Suddenly you're seeing all these, I'll talk QA now, but you're seeing all the other issues come in. You're seeing what sorts of things people are looking for. You're seeing what's accepted and not accepted as you have that visibility into the process, and that makes you a better competitor, so you know what to do. So even if you're first time through, you're saying, I don't really know what I'm doing here, that's okay. And maybe you take a little bit of time and maybe you don't place, that's also okay, because the experience is worth a lot. And I'm sure, I mean, that's always the first thing I hear from any member of this community who has a lot of success. They always say the best thing to do is to start competing, even if you don't have the expectation of winning something right away, because you do work your way up. And I know Thomas is watching, and I know Thomas just threw himself into it, and he didn't start winning right away. And now Thomas is like, he's an MVP. So
right.
He's your success story right there.
Very true. Awesome. That actually that's a great question for those who might not know, because in a way that sounds a little different from a typical like development challenge, let's say, because in a development challenge, you have to actually provide a successful submission in order to see the results. So you're saying for these QA challenges, you could see results even though you may not have placed.
Right, you'll be given access to a GitHub repo where everyone's logging their issues. That's our central repository right now for all of these issues that are being reported. So you can view that stuff. You can see what other people do. You can't touch it. You can't change it. You can't get ahead of them or report the same issue or a duplicate. You won't earn points for duplicates, but you can see what people do. You can see what they look for, and especially the unstructured test cycles. Those, I think, are something that anyone can participate in with a very low barrier to entry. Generally, you're going to be given a website and you just go use it like a user. I think one of the Topcoder admins, mcards13, used to always describe it to me as banging on something till it breaks. Like, go in there. Like when we run an unstructured test cycle, go in there and just beat the crap out of the thing until you find something that's not working right or as you'd expect it to as a user, and log it. It can be. We call them bug hunts in the past. It really can be a hunt. You don't need to be a 10-year veteran of quality assurance to go use an application and figure out what's not working right with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like a pretty low bar of entry to get in, but then you kind of learn the ins and outs of it, and then you could potentially become really successful in the field. So, yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to end on? Maybe some last words about the subject? I know you kind of did a little deep dive here in the past 20 minutes or so, but
I hope it was helpful to people. I hope you guys start watching that tag, looking for that opportunity to make the trip. I want you to win that. I want to meet you at TCO because I'll be there doing what I'm doing right now, which is talking at a camera. And that's one of the most fun weeks of the year for me. So I now that I'm sort of building this sub community within Topcoder and trying to really build out this skill set, it means that much more to me to interact with you guys. So just please take a look, please compete. Give me your suggestions and your feedback. Once again, I am on Topcoder community Slack. It's Will_Price is my name on there. Don't hesitate to DM me or anything like that if you have any questions.
Yeah, I think we should create a forum space for you as well, maybe a QA track forum space that you could follow and be in contact with all of our members.
More work for Nick. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, if there aren't any more questions, I think that'll do it for us here. Topcoder admins, Nick Castillo, your community manager, and Will Price, what's your title nowadays?
Challenge architect, product manager. It's a little bit of everything. I wear many hats, including a TCO 17 one.
Love it. All right, guys.
It's been awesome being on here. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it. And if you don't watch it already, watch TCO on Twitch.
Oh, it's still up there?
I mean, the old videos they're on YouTube now. But awesome. TCO 18, if you don't win one of these trips, watch it.
Tune in.
See me and Nick there. You can get more.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, until the next live broadcast, I am Nick Castillo signing off. Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.